Welcome back to Trillium Talk and our continuing coverage of the 2025 Ontario provincial election. A bit of a slower day for the leaders today, with Marit Stiles spending the day doing media interviews. Things seem quiet on the PC Doug Ford front, and Bonnie Crombie is just east of the nation's capital in the riding of Clarence-Rockland. Charlie Pinkerton from the Trillium joins us with today's update from Queen's Park. Charlie, the Liberal leader held a press conference this morning. What was her message?
Yeah, so Bonnie Crombie this morning from the larger Ottawa area was there talking about some stuff she's kind of been pounding away at throughout the campaign. The Liberals focus on healthcare, fixing the healthcare system, but also tax cuts they're promising. So, they're promising to reduce the provincial middle income tax rate. So that's the amount that people are taxed on incomes of between about $51,000 and $75,000. Bring that down from 9.15% to 7.15%. So that's a big Liberal promise in this campaign. Same with removing HST from home heating and hydro bills. So those are the two policies that she at least started off talking about today.
All right. Now, speaking of Crombie and the Liberals, they seem to have invoked a bit of a new strategy the last 2 days, appealing to NDP voters to vote Liberal and calling the state of healthcare and affordability in Ontario, quote, heartbreaking. When you consider the latest polling numbers, Charlie, is this a bit of a Hail Mary by the Liberals to join forces, if not to win, but to at least have a chance in getting official party status back?
Yeah, so I wouldn't call it a Hail Mary. I think about it more like kind of like a hook and ladder to get into field goal range kind of situation. It's definitely a strategic play by the Liberals, influenced by the polling that you mentioned that there is right now that shows that, the PCs are, if a vote were held yesterday or the day before, whenever the most recent polling was done, that they're on track to win another majority. And so something that is very important to the Liberals in this election is that they get beyond the threshold of official party status. That currently at the Ontario Legislature is 12 MPPs. The Liberals have not gotten there since 2018. That has greatly affected them. I think throughout this campaign, it's been visible to anyone following it, the impacts that not having additional funding over almost 7 years now, what that has done to the party. So getting to at least 12 out of 124 potential MPPs is very important for them. The Liberals also have they essentially have maybe a lower ceiling than the other two major parties in terms of the seats that they can pick up. They don't really have a presence in Northern Ontario, Southwestern Ontario as well. They're sort of weaker. So, there are the GTA seats. The Liberals are strong in Eastern Ontario. Crombie herself was supposed to really help in Peel and the outer GTA, which are, important electoral areas. And so I was sort of surprised that Crombie has been stressing this point of saying, NDP voters, come over to us, help, defeat this government at this, sort of early point in the campaign, because we still have 8 days left. But I'm sure that came after, some calculations on how to have the best possible outcome, of course, given the current state of polls and expectations.
All right. So the big question, how did Marit Stiles react to Crombie's pitch to her party faithful?
Yeah, so she was asked about this yesterday, I believe. And so she essentially characterized what the Liberals are doing as desperate for official party status. Marit Stiles has said that her focus continues to be on flipping blue seats to orange ones. I will note, though, that a lot of Marit Stiles' leaders tour thus far has been, I guess, how I could characterize it as semi-defensive. She's been in a lot of NDP held ridings. Recently she was in Northern Ontario for longer than any other leader. That's typically strong NDP territory. She's been in downtown Toronto a lot. Those are places that they want to win as well. She is being critical of the Liberals, and I think for fairly fair reasons. But her own actions also imply that, what she's saying isn't exactly the full extent of what her party is aiming.
All right, to social media we go, and the PCs have just dug up a tweet from 2023 that was made by Liberal candidate Varesh Bansal. In that tweet, Bansal said what he later called hurtful and thoughtless comments towards Jagmeet Singh and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. What actions are the PCs and NDP calling for, and how has the Liberal Party responded?
So in terms of this candidate who's been caught up in what the PC's effort of, releasing quite a steady stream of Liberal candidate old social media posts has been, is that the PCs and the NDP, they've called for this candidate to be dropped. These tweets of his were from 2023, which is, somewhat recent. A lot of these posts with various candidates the PCs have dug up have been quite old, but this was just a couple of years ago. Nevertheless, as you mentioned, Scott, the candidate did apologize, seemed to acknowledge that what he said was, wrong in the heat of the moment, and he's not going anywhere for now. So he's sticking around. There was another candidate's tweet from 2010, I think, that the PCs released today. I sort of expect there to be more of these dug up based on what we've seen already. But for the time being, Bonnie Crombie has said that her candidates are sticking around. She was actually asked about this sort of trend in the campaign today, to which she came out against, sort of hit back at Doug Ford and said, and I will quote, "If Doug Ford has something to say to me, I hope he has the balls to say it to my face." So, we've kind of reached the WWE promotion cutting part of the campaign, apparently.
All right. Now, there's a bit of irony here in that the Liberals are calling MPP Dawn Gallagher-Murphy's situation where 11 of her former employees have accused her of workplace harassment, and Doug Ford is still standing by his Newmarket Aurora MPP. Is there any update on that situation, Charlie?
As far as we know from the PC party, there isn't. Just like the Liberals, they haven't dropped Dawn Gallagher-Murphy. It might be a given, but parties really don't like to drop candidates. It's often embarrassing. Questions, it prompts questions of their own decision-making, their own vetting and competence and things like that. It can often make it a longer lasting news story and have other, unforeseen impacts. In the last provincial election, for example, in a quite late news conference, the then Liberal leader, Stephen Del Duca, was questioned about some of the candidates his party had dropped. That led to sort of this bizarre news conference where he was criticizing the NDP for sexism, which the then NDP leader, Andrea Horwath, the only female leader, had pretty good standing to, refute. And I at least think of that as something that did not help the Liberals on election day. So perhaps that's on the mind of these parties when they're keeping their candidates around, but it's just something they really don't like to do. So in terms of Dawn Gallagher-Murphy, she, for now, is sticking around. The Liberals in that riding of Newmarket Aurora, they feel they have a strong candidate. It's a former provincial cabinet minister. So yeah, it looks like, at least for now, it'll be up to the voters in just over a week.
There's Charlie Pinkerton, reporter at the Trillium, joining us from Queen's Park today. For complete Ontario election coverage, be sure to check the Village Media outlet in your city. Become a Trillium insider today at thetrillium.ca and watch Trillium Talk every weekday right here from the campaign trail with our team of reporters at the Trillium. That's all for today for all of us at Village Media. Thanks for watching.